So in this video, I'm going to talk about visual hierarchies within Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Sales. Now, it's a relatively new feature and it's actually pretty interesting. So let me take you into the system. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm actually going to do this from the accounts area, but you're not limited to visual hierarchies relating to accounts. So it's something that can be applied to other record types as well. But let's go into a record. Let's select one here called whatever it is, sample record litware. Open that up, and you can see at the top here, I've got a button here called View Hierarchy. And if I just click on that, it's going to come up with a hierarchy view. And let's just explain what we've got here. So we've got the header organization record litware. Now I can obviously change that if I want to another company, but I was in the litware record already, so that's what it's going to show me by default. And then I've got some information appearing in the fields here, and then I've got related data. So I've got some information about the contacts at litware. Obviously this is test data, so it's not brilliant. And then I've got two interesting ones here called open opportunities. So not just opportunities, I just want to see the open ones. There aren't any at the moment. And then we've got a view for won opportunities. So what we can do, and these are called multi-table hierarchies. So effectively there are three types. There is a single table hierarchy that just displays parent-child relationships. Now, that's not to me terribly exciting, so I can show the parent-child relationship between accounts would be a good example of that. But yeah, there's only so much that's interesting about that. But this concept of multi-table hierarchies is much more interesting, or even extend that further and have a combination of the two and have a sort of hybrid hierarchy. It just effectively allows us to display the relationships and the related records in one view. We don't have to sort of go and go into a record, go into the related area, find related records. We can see all the information that's interesting to us in one place. So let's just very quickly walk you around the functionality of it. It kind of does what it displays really, but you can have multiple visual hierarchies. So it's not just one, you could have multiple and select from those. I've just got the one in place at the moment. If you've got this view on the side here, you've got the ability to search for records within this view. We can get rid of this if we want to get rid of that. And then within this area here, what we can do is we can click on any of these records. So let's click on Susanna's record, and then I get a view of that data appear on the right hand side. Or if I want to, if I click on the three dots, I can actually open up the whole form for that record, and then I can sort of come out of that if I wish to. So I can very easily navigate my way around that. So that is how it sort of manifests itself. Let me sort of just show what happens within the back end. Before I do, if you are using Dynamics, I feel you'd like to get a bit more out of it and you want some advice on potential next steps, and feel very free to reach out. I'll put some links in the description below. So you feel very free to get in touch. Always happy to have a chat to people about their particular situation. So that's the visual hierarchies I've got it at the moment. But if I show you in the back end, so if I change the area to the app settings area, and then I've got an area here called visual hierarchy, and that's the one I think we've got active at the moment. So you can see how that's set up. I've got the related contacts, the related opportunities. But if I want to extend that out, I could just click on this, select a table that I want to extend out, and I could select cases or whatever. So it's very simple to set up. Let's just jump down and see if we've got cases. We can spot cases, lots of C's. Case topics, case suggestions. There we go, case. And if I wanted to add that, I could do that. And then what it asked me to do is select the relationship type that I want to do. I'm not going to walk you through the details setting these up, but just give you a flavor of what needs to be set up in the background. So I've got the ability then to specify which view it's using. You can remember earlier we got those different views: open opportunities, one opportunities, and I've got the ability to define what card to use. So I can set up in the system different cards. Now it's got a limit, I think, of 7 fields on a card, but we can set cards up. We can determine what fields appear in these cards, so we can make sure that those are relevant. And then I can also say what form should appear when I click on things, either in that side, appearing in that side form. So I've got a lot of flexibility in terms of how I set this up. So that's kind of the back end. They're relatively easy to go through. Took me a little while just to get to grips with it, but pretty easy to set up. So I think it's an interesting area. I say when I first sort of came across visual hierarchies, I thought, well, that's not very exciting. We got to see parent-child relationships between accounts. That's, perhaps with a situation where you've really got complex relationships with multi-layer organizations, that might be useful to see, but by and large, not, in my opinion. But this ability to have on the screen, be able to see from a sort of header record all the child records displayed in one pane, to me is really powerful. Particularly for people new to systems that, trying to get their head around related data and being able to find related data. It allows you to surface very visually what you want users to look at and what to be aware of. And I particularly like this ability to have these appear in multiple areas with different filters attached to them: the open opportunity, the one opportunity, the lost opportunities, the overdue opportunities. You can set this up very much to surface the data that you want your users to be aware of. So I think it's quite a powerful tool. I was very impressed. And I think this has got application for a lot of people using Dynamics. Anyway, hopefully that's been helpful. This is one in quite a range of videos we've done on Dynamics 365 for Sales themes. Feel free to check out the channel. Thanks very much for your time today. Hopefully see you again soon.